my top mistakes that I made on my peptide journey. We all have them. I am not ashamed of them, but I truthfully think that other people can really learn from me and be able to avoid these mistakes in the future. The first mistake, and probably the biggest mistake that I made in my journey that really affected me long term, was cycling all of my peptides on all at once. So instead of me either staggering them at least a week apart or a couple weeks apart, I started them all at the exact same time. And you do find out very quickly that you fall in love with certain peppers and you never want to cycle off of them. So for myself, I fell in love with many, many different peppers, and then I found out I have to cycle off of every single one at the exact same time, because many of the ones that I was cycling were around that 8 to 12 week mark. Therefore, the second time that I went to go cycle these, I had to wait even longer to reintroduce them into my routine. My next biggest mistake was honestly one that was very personal, but it was when I was transitioning from terzatouille to ratatouille. I was not patient enough with myself, giving myself enough time to fully acclimate. And truthfully, I almost threw in the towel at week 4, but I am so glad that I didn't. But I do remember feeling that week 1 through week 4 felt like the slowest burn of my entire life. And at one point I was like, is this placebo? Is this actually working? I don't even really know. But for me, week 4 and week 5 truthfully changed the game for me when it came to ratatouille. So I encourage you to just be patient if you are early on in your journey and you are still waiting to really see results and success. Another mistake that I made, and it is one that really, really gets to my core, is that I left my peps out of my fridge. And to be honest, this is something that happened very recently. Within the past month, I was like, what? I had a literal brain fog and left my peps out overnight. And to be honest, that is a rookie mistake. I had a busy day. I forgot what I was doing. I left it out. I went to bed. I woke up the next morning and I was like, where the freak are my peps? And therefore, many of the ones that I had to be thrown into the trash. It was one that I deeply regret and I look back on and I go, oh my gosh, I can't believe I did that. More so, moral of the story is it can happen to anyone, no matter where you are in your journey, even someone like me. Just make sure that you're putting your peps in your freaking fridge and you don't forget them out overnight. And last but certainly not least, one of the things that I wish I did a little bit differently was just readjust my goals. I feel like when you first start these journeys, you have this picture in your mind of what you want to do, what you want to accomplish. And when you kind of get to that point, reevaluating and saying, okay, what can I do now? How can I ask myself for more? And truthfully, I feel like it's a really good level set when it comes to being honest with ourselves and saying, hey, these are my goals, this is what I want to accomplish, and being able to hold ourselves accountable. So those are just the top few mistakes that I made in my journey. It is super normal to have these and to look back and say, dang, I wish I did that a little bit different. But I hope me sharing my mistakes really helps you guys and being able to have a smoother path forward. With that being said, I am always happy to help and I am always happy that you are here.